remember that for the Leo Africa experiment, I had set forth like four, as you recall, uh, va- four groundings for authentic African leadership. The first is clarity, that we don't deceive ourselves, and we, as much as possible, do not, as someone said here, I think Mwine, we do not delude ourselves as to our circumstances. Um, the second is what you're referring to, which is knowledge. Knowledge production, not necessarily academic, by this value we're referring to. Let us be self-sufficient. When you analyze something, don't seek, don't spend too much time seeking validation elsewhere. I think that you all have the tools to make an analysis of this. That's the only political education you need. But I would add to that that the firmament of political organization and with it public administration and the outcomes for society have been challenged greatly. You know, when I was in school, we studied African nationalism. And the backdrop to that, of course, was the fight against colonialism. Today, the two generations that are here, millennials and Gen Zs, and something else I'm told, you're dealing with post-liberation, dystopia. Across us, we have great leaders, including our president here. But the post-liberation time period that we are dealing with here begs the question, when is the next revolution, if we do need one? Going by what you see online yesterday, you're dealing with another problem, which has to do with, I guess I don't want to use the word mental health, okay? But there is something going on there that we must also address. So political education, the traditional political education, might be a place to pick some concepts, social democracy, forms of social organization. I read a lot of history myself. So when I see what that very undignified episode yesterday, I think of the Roman Civil War, which dealt a death blow to the Republic, which was followed in about 20 years by Caesar's dictatorship. But dictatorship in Rome was actually a positive word. It was just the magistrate who was appointed in times of crisis. But Caesar extended that. We had another episode of wars, but then you had a rule of Augustus Octavius. For 40-something years, Rome was stable under an emperor. But the family dynamic was so bad that by the time you get to a guy who was a delinquent, crazy guy, military guy called Tiberius, you go in short order from Tiberius to Caligula to Nero. Things just go from bad to worse, okay? And all those are mental cases, Caligula in particular. I'm not saying you should use this parallel in our context, so make sure that I keep my beard. So I think political education for us would be practical and empathetic to our condition as Africans. So I wouldn't put so much mchaka mchaka and shankwazi thing in it, but go ahead if you feel that people should get some civic responsibility, take personal responsibility for today. We certainly need in Uganda to question whether this post-liberation experiment has really come to an end. I think that's a good place to start. Thank you.